Thanks for joining us today for Religion in the News.
If you've never watched Religion in the News, you're missing a chance to examine, explore, and share your faith in action. Tune in at 5 a.m. the first Sunday of every month on Wish TV. Religion in the News, brought to you by the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis.
This is Religion in the News, sponsored by Wish TV, in cooperation with the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis.
Good morning, I'm J.R. Ryder. Welcome to our May edition of Religion in the News. Joining me today is Carol Sissom, Merlin Gonzalez, Faith James, Lori Cobian, and Maria Pimentel-Gannon is off today. We have a great show for you as our guests talk about the Stepping Into Love Conference. A stroke and cancer survivor talks about an upcoming healing service. A Christian businessman talks about businessmen in the marketplace, an upcoming training for women in ministry, and insight on how to study the Bible. Also, the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis talks about their upcoming education weekend. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Religion in the News. Again, I'm J.R. Ryder. My guest today is here to talk about the upcoming Stepping Into Love Conference. Rita Regic, make sure I say that name correctly.
Thank you.
Welcome to our program.
I'm glad to be here.
Let's talk about this Stepping Into Love Conference.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, I think you had one of these, and you have one coming up here in June. And talk to us about the purpose of the Stepping Into Love Conference, what it's about.
Well, JR, we are a group of women who have a passion for making sure that women know that God loves them, regardless of who they are, what they look like, what they've done, what they might do. It doesn't matter. We're here because God loves us. You know,
absolutely.
Paul prayed that we would comprehend the depth, the width, the height, all of God's love. And we want to make sure that women know this. And that's what our conference is about.
That's exciting. Now, you've had a chance to experience one of these conferences. Tell us a little bit about what they can expect. Someone goes to your conference, what is it like? What can they expect?
Well, we have great singing. The workshops will be specific, so there's enough that regardless of what the woman wants to know about, whether they want to know about their body, because of how God loves them, how to keep their body. It could be that women just need to talk to someone. We have all of those things set up for women to be able to experience.
I see.
And
so
it's good singing.
And it's good singing. So you have music, and I'm assuming when you say topics, workshops, it's different topics on these workshops?
Yes, there are. We have a panel discussion.
Okay. So is this an all-inclusive love as far as relationships and love of yourself and the whole?
Yourself, working. It doesn't matter, because love covers everything.
Yes. I love the title of it, Stepping Into Love. It sounds like a song. I was talking to one of the other guests, and we thought, you know, maybe we should write a song about that. You know, sounds like a song.
Stepping into love.
We have a picture that we're going to pop up, and I know this is part of your staff. Talk to us about, real quickly, who some of these people are.
Certainly. Actually, we have the lady at the top is the visionary for this. We work with Susan.
Okay.
And then we have one of the ladies is our prayer warrior. She's the lady that's on the left at the bottom, and she's joined the woman that's in the yellow is Doris.
Okay.
And she does our decoration. She does so well. We have another lady beside her that's a prayer warrior, and then we have our marketing lady. So there are just a diverse group, as you can see, of women who want to fulfill this goal of sharing love.
And this sounds like an excellent conference. We'll make sure that we pop up the contact information.
Yes.
The website, the phone number, so that people can get a hold of you for more information. And once again, tell us those dates.
It will be Friday, June 27th. It's a banquet from 6 to 8. They can come and eat, greet, and just enjoy. And then on Saturday, the workshops, the presentations, the singing, and that starts at 9 a.m. and goes to 1:30 p.m. at the Forum.
And these are
I didn't mention that on Friday. That's at the Holiday Inn.
And I believe that's on the website also.
Yes, all of that information is there.
Rita, thank you for being our guest this morning on Religion in the News. Sounds like fun. Stepping Into Love Conference.
It will be fun.
2014.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carol, now to you.
Thank you, JR. Good morning. I'm Carol Sisson, and my guest today is a stroke and cancer survivor, Shelley Bradley. She's here to talk about her miracle healing and an upcoming healing miracle service today. Welcome to Religion in the News, Shelley.
Thank you.
Now, Shelley, you are one of the most amazing people I have ever met because you have survived cancer, a heart attack, heart bypass, a stroke, and a devastating divorce, all in just the last 20 years. But you are a living, walking miracle, and I want to hear your story. Tell us briefly about everything that's happened to you.
Well, when I was 21 years of age, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a form of cancer. I had never been sick or anything, so I wasn't real familiar with any illness. And I had extreme radiation treatments to save my life at that time. That's the only thing they knew to do. Since then, because of the radiation, I have suffered a lot of other problems medically. I had a lung removed, all related to the extreme radiation.
I know you mentioned when the surgeon removed the lung that it looked like a soldering iron on your inside.
Yes, that's what the surgeon had said. Because of my age at the time, I was so young, they hesitated to do the surgery, but I had blood clots in my lung. And so they ended up removing it, and he was hesitant. But afterwards, he said that absolutely he had no doubt that that's what needed to be done, because it looked like a soldering iron had been taken to my lung.
And then you went on and had massive heart attack, a
Yes.
heart bypass surgery, and during that surgery, you had a stroke. What,
Yes.
about 6 years ago?
Yes,
And then after that, a divorce.
yes.
And just tell us briefly about the stroke and everything that happened.
Well, the stroke came from complications during the open heart surgery. They had to reopen my chest numerous times, and then I was in an induced coma for over a month. And they told my family that my organs were failing. They had me on dialysis, and they told my family to prepare for the worst, that it didn't look good for me at all. And the stroke came from the open heart surgery and the complications.
So you come out of the stroke and you're legally blind.
Yes.
You still are.
Yes.
Living alone, all by yourself, and you get divorced. I know we don't have a lot of time to tell your whole life story, but you had an encounter with God.
Oh,
Tell
yes.
us just quickly about that.
Well, the divorce, I must say, I have to mention that the depression that follows any illness, chronic illness, is a very big thing. And I know that depression is such an epidemic these days. I think it's very important to touch on that and how depression can so change things. But with a life-altering stroke, life as I knew it ceased to exist.
Now, Shelley, I hate to interrupt you, but I know you are a living, walking, talking miracle, and you credit a lot of that to a lot of your church. And today, tell us what's going to happen today at your church.
Oh, they're having a healing service at the Church of Acts today, and it's really exciting. I've attended them before. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story and
Thank
your
you.
miracle. I know you're an encouragement. Back to you, Faith.
Thanks, Carol. Good morning. I'm Faith James. When we return, my guest talks about an upcoming training women's leadership. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is here to talk about an upcoming training for women leadership. Dr. Tuesday Tate, welcome to the show.
Hello, Faith. How are you?
I am great. Now, before we start this interview, I have to address the dress and the shoes. Give me those shoes.
You can have them when I'm
Oh
finished
my
with
gosh,
them.
you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell our viewers a little bit about Dr. Tuesday Tate. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, I am a minister of the gospel ordained. I'm a certified life coach and image consultant and trainer, national speaker, and I'm an author. My book will be out in probably June or July.
And what's the name of your book?
Waiting, Mastering the Unavoidable, because we all have to wait, so we might as well master it.
Ooh, that might have to be another show because I think
Yes,
a
it
lot of
will.
women are
Yes,
out there
it will.
waiting
Yeah.
and travailing on a lot of things. Okay, so also too, you are a life advisor. So talk a little bit about being a life advisor before we talk about your event.
Awesome. Well, you know, a lot of people refer to us as life coaches, and that would be true. But most of what I do is really about advising people, whether it's in relationship, in spiritual things, and with their children, their family, their business, professional. So to limit it to life coach was kind of narrowing the scope of what I really do. So everything I do is about helping people advance their lives for their purpose that God created them for.
Okay, so talk about advancing their lives. You want to help women advance their lives in leadership through training.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just going to give the initials IKEA. What does that stand for?
IKEA. We're all familiar with IKEA as women. And so one day I was sitting at my desk, and what I came up with was intentional kingdom equipping for advancement. And when I wrote it out, it was IKEA. So there's the IKEA Training Institute. It's for leaders, men and women who are leaders. But the Training Institute that will begin on June 21st starts for women in ministry and women in leadership. So that could be leadership in your organization, leadership in your church, leadership in your home, leadership in your business, how to be effective leaders, how to still lead like a lady. You don't have to lead like a man. God has created you to be a woman, and you can still lead effectively. And so each month, the last Saturday of each month, even though June's meeting is on the 21st, but the last Saturday of each month at the Julia Carson Center from 9 to 1 will be training for women in leadership and women in ministry. So submitting. We don't have to be stupid because we submit. Submission does not equal stupidity. So how to lead while you're limping, how to follow those who are flawed. And so different, just leadership 101, the 7 things that God hates. So just helping us to be effective leaders and how to maneuver through ministry as a woman that's married, as a woman that's single.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and I will be at the IKEA. And back to you, Merlin.
Thanks, Faith. Good morning. I'm Merlin Gonzalez. My guest today is here to talk about Christian businessmen in the marketplace. Welcome to Religion in the News, Roy.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Merlin.
Roy Fuller, he works for American Church Group. So tell us about being a businessman in a marketplace.
It's really a blessing from the standpoint that I get to live out my faith on a daily basis while working in the field of business, and specifically with what I do, working in the field of insuring churches, Christian schools, parachurch ministries such as yours, like Faith, Hope, and Love, and other types of related ministries.
Yes. What's the name of your company again, and what other things do they do?
My name of my company is American Church Group of Indiana, and we work in conjunction with Brotherhood Mutual Insurance Company. They're our partner, and we provide property and casualty insurance for, as I mentioned, churches, Christian schools, camps, and so forth. And we do a lot with them in terms of providing risk management tools, training, webinars, those types of things that can help equip these ministries to protect themselves so that they can, in a safe way, carry out the kingdom work that God has called them to fulfill.
Wonderful. You talk about risk management. There's something coming up that your company is going to providing.
Yes, on May 6th, we're going to provide a one-day training seminar on the topic of church safety and security. And this is going to be available at no cost to attendees, and lunch will be provided, and it's going to be at Emmanuel Community Church in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And that should be on your website?
Yes, it's on our website, and there'll be some contact information at the end that people can email me or call the 800 number, and we can get them further information for that.
We have about a minute left, but I'd like to ask you this quick question. In the church, you said risk management, so there might be risk going in a church, being in a church building. Tell us just a couple of examples for that.
Well, sure, absolutely. The risk can take the standpoint of simple things like people coming into a church can trip and fall in the parking lot in the building, to things such as pastoral counseling issues that come into play. Big issues today have to do with sexual misconduct within the church, related ministries, all those types of things.
That's great. Thank you, Roy. For more information, you have it on the screen. And back to you, Lori.
Thanks, Merlin. Good morning. I'm Lori Cobian. Coming up next, my guest teaches us how to study the Bible. Stay tuned.
You don't want to be scared, you just want to be ready. When severe weather strikes, depend on the Forecast 8 storm team to have your back.
If you're in Indianapolis here, the storm's going to hit in 5 minutes.
So you'll be ready for whatever's heading your way.
The system could bring a little bit of everything, so here's what you need to know.
It's about getting it right, so you can keep your family safe.
This storm is coming together just as we expected.
All of the weather, none of the hype, because you expect more.
Accurate, reliable. The Forecast 8 Storm Trackers on 24-hour News 8.
Wish TV's Indie Style.
I have been in those before where you can see $200 jeans, for like 80 bucks. It's about staying connected to your community.
I'm here with Ashley and Abby. They're here from Keeping Indianapolis Beautiful. It's that time of year, right?
It is.
Snow's melting.
Right.
Finding a better way. This is something uncommon. People might think it looks common, but it's not. What are we walking on here?
So this is decomposed granite, and it's a great alternative if people don't want to spend too much money.
Weekdays at 9 on Wish TV.